Island hopping in the USVIs isn't all snorkeling, prosecco, and dance parties. We had a slew of problems on the second part of our Virgin Island adventures, like a broken dinghy, being locked out of the boat, stranded on a beach, an overheated generator, and a fire coral sting. In this episode, learn how we dealt with the difficulties but continued to have a blast on this unforgettable trip. In part one, we shared our journey to the USVIs, chartering our incredible power cat, Whimsy 2, from the moorings, and our first few days on the islands of St. Thomas, Great St. James, Lavango, and St. John. We pulled up the anchor and headed away from beautiful Maho Bay back to Conneaut Bay and Honeymoon Beach. The guys had made plans to dive, so they dropped us girls off at the beach. We ordered overpriced yummy drinks and souvenir cups, enjoyed the water, and had great conversation. Meanwhile, the guys headed over to Cruise Bay for their dive. Captain Tommy had set up the dive 2 days in advance so they would have time to fill out all the paperwork. We highly recommend doing this. The first dive was at a site called Two Palms and was approximately 45 feet in depth with beautiful coral reefs and plenty of colorful fish. The second dive was on the outside of the island at the entrance to Cruise Bay. It was a very nice rocky shelf dive, again with some nice coral and plenty of reef fish, plus a sandy bottom at 25-foot depth. Today's been quite the day. Started out wonderful, great breakfast. The guys had reservations to go on a dive, so they took us over to that beach. They said we'll be back in a few hours, and we thought that's perfect, and it was. We had beach cocktails, we had great conversation, the water was clear and blue and warm until we started completely frying, and it became hours later and there was no sign of the guys. And we found out they've had some issues of their own and they will not be back anytime soon. So we had two choices. We could all of us get on the paddleboard with all of our gear and somehow get back over here from there, or we could do it. I did. Got brave, went up, asked a complete stranger if he would bring us home in his dinghy. And that's what happened. Some complete strangers brought us home in the dinghy. Molly came back on the paddleboard, and it's a good thing we did. It's a good thing we did all that. We canceled our dinner reservations. We have a great dinner cooking. And the guys had major dinghy problems. Can't even imagine how fried we would be if we hadn't hitched a dinghy ride. And we're hoping they get home soon. Robert, the fixer, of course, changed the prop out on the beach in front of a bar.
What name is it under?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I think it's under my name. Hold on a minute. I left in the credit card. Okay, we're on prop number 2 over here in Cruise Bay. Chaz, give me a little commentary on this.
Robert's doing a fantastic job improvising here. That's actually the original prop.
That is the original prop.
He has shimmed it with a screw.
Shimmed it with a screw.
Yes.
He's MacGyver. I call him MacGyver back at J-Dock.
Yep.
He's helped me with many projects. Normally he doesn't MacGyver my boat though.
No, we don't.
We never
only MacGyver when we have to. We should be in there.
We should be. We should be drinking right now. Oh, wait a minute. I do have a drink in my hand.
We had another yummy dinner and shared all our adventures of the day. The next morning, we headed over to Cruise Bay in the dinghy to grab some breakfast and provisions. High Tide is a cute little restaurant right on the water. We started our breakfast with Bloody Marys and mimosas. And cheers! After breakfast, we headed to the other side of St. John to Water Lemon Bay. Or is it Water Lemon Bay? I'm not sure, but either way, the water there was stunning. So this is someone from the moorings who's bringing us our new dinghy. And we've got an unconventional way of helping him tie up to a mooring ball, to say the least. He was struggling with this, so Chaz and Robert took our dinghy to help him out. We were thankful to have a functioning dinghy once again. Even though we did encounter several problems with our power cat during the week, we were overall very pleased with how the moorings quickly rectified each problem. This part of St. John is really stunning. We had by no means been anywhere crowded on this trip, but Water Lemon was so secluded and beautiful. From this bay, we had a clear view of the British Virgin Islands just east of us. Alex, Molly, and I left Karen to her studies and enjoyed some beach time while the guys hiked to the sugar plantation ruins. The Annenberg Sugar Plantation is well worth visiting. It's a short 200-yard walk up a driveway to reach the top of a hill, which has great views of the bay. When they reached the plantation, they discovered there were many more buildings that you couldn't see from the water, and there were plaques explaining what the specific buildings were for. One of the plaques explained that it was more than just a sugar plantation. It was also a rum distillery, which made it much more interesting for the 4 captains in the Caribbean. The guys rejoined us after their hike, and we floated in the clearest water we had encountered on the trip. We were in heaven. But then I brushed up against fire coral and it hurt. We did some research, and sure enough, that is exactly what I had brushed against. It's actually not a true coral, but instead it's part of the jellyfish family. But we weren't going to let my brush with the fire ruin the afternoon, and we stayed on our floats in the beautiful water. We eventually floated back to the boat where we discovered we had a new problem. What's the problem?
So, we don't have any, the generator overheated because there was no water flow because there was algae in the sea strainer. And now it's overheated, so we can't start it again until it cools down.
What are we gonna do? We pondered what we would do without electricity while we waited for the generator to cool. Chaz, how's it going down there? What are you doing?
I'm looking at the intake for the generator.
And is it looking
It appears
good?
to be clear.
Okay.
Hey Robert, do you think that I only found one inlet? It's a round circular inlet with holes punched in it. A little bit of growth on it, but it's obviously you'll get that cold water. Is it right below your bathroom too, right?
It eventually cooled down, so we were able to shower and cook dinner.
You rock! Is that all I get?
You get as much as you want. How much you want?
Is that all I get?
Tell me what you want.
Oh, there we go. Now we're talking.
All right.
We ate chocolate for dessert and decided on a game of Cards Against Humanity. Oh my gosh, we have not laughed so hard in a very long time.
That's almost impossible.
I took one.
There's such a good rabbit.
Putting down a towel and farting all over it.
We awoke to yet another beautiful morning. After breakfast, we stayed on the aft deck and had some great conversations. We talked about each of our love languages and then discussed our personality types, like what combination we each are of lion, beaver, otter, or golden retriever, and how we can better understand and work with others when we recognize our own and others' personality types. Afterwards, we detached from the mooring ball and started our longest trek of the week so far, from Waterlemon Bay to Megan's Bay on St. Thomas. It was a really nice morning cruise, and we loved being on the blue Caribbean water. Of course, we made sure to have some fun along the way. The jaunt to St. Thomas took us about an hour and a half. This bay and its beach are breathtaking. I made a big batch of sangria to take to the beach.
Ketchup and mustard and mayo.
What'd y'all get? Tom only has
Cheeseburgers in
condiments.
paradise.
Okay, let's just say one word, your favorite thing in the last 7 days. Okay, crystal clear blue water. Good friends and good food.
Awesome conversation and talks.
Yes.
Solving the world's problems.
Friendship.
This is me telling you all that we're having a fantastic time, the most unbelievable time, and here we are. Here's the 8 of us, me and all the 7 over there, right above my hand. Can you guys see them? Yay, look at them, yay, hello. And she's gonna say hi to the camera. Hi, Tom! You see?
Beautiful palm trees, crystal blue waters like you've never seen. No lobsters. Don't let people lie to you.
After floating and talking for hours, we headed back to the boat to enjoy our last evening on board. Not surprisingly, another dance party spontaneously began. What was a surprise was when the captain from the boat next to ours cruised over and said they wanted to have a dance-off. This gang was more than ready to take them on. And, of course, we won as they all headed inside while we kept going.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Oppan Gangnam Style. 아프면 묶었던 머리 푸는 여자 가렸지만 웬만한 노출보다 야한 여자 그런 감각적인 여자 나는 선어해 점잖아 보이지만 놀 땐 노는 선어해 내가 되면 완전 미쳐버린
The dance party continued upstairs while Alex and Karen worked on grilled pizzas. We had a great pizza dinner, laughed, and had more fun than we could remember.
I like that move. It's kind of like the.
We awoke early on our final morning to clean and finish packing everything up. We had been admiring this mega yacht since we arrived in the bay. We researched it to discover you can charter it for yourself for a mere $160,000 a week plus expenses. We especially love the swimming pool and the slide. It was time to head out on our final trek of the week. It was so hard to believe that our amazing week on Whimsy 2 was coming to an end. On this day, we were traveling from Magens Bay, around the north and west sides of the island, back to Charlotte Amalie. We cruised around Sauk Cay and West Cay, with empty, sandy beaches we want to visit on another trip. Then we were near Mermaid's Chair on the western tip of the island where the Atlantic Ocean meets the Caribbean Sea. Then past the airport and towards our starting point in Crown Bay. This is a yacht carrier. Got some sailboats and power boats. Pretty cool. We're heading back in. That's the cruise ship dock. And then we were back on the dock, ready to head to the villa. Our amazing week on a Power Cat has come to an end. It has been epic. Any other words come to mind?
Tremendous, fantastic, wonderful, the best.
We're so blessed.
Yep.
It's been amazing. So long.
Bye.
So long, Whimsy 2. The moorings held all our luggage while we grabbed a yummy sushi lunch at Inkai Sushi Bar. We said tearful goodbyes to Karen and John, who had to head home, and then we waited for our taxi. We were pleasantly surprised that our villa had sent a taxi driver, Israel Peterson, who is quite the character and a celebrity who has performed at the Halls of Congress, the Country Music Awards, and at Super Bowl 13.
My name is Israel Peterson, and my Facebook, you can find me under that as Israel Peterson. I am the Moko Jumbi of St. Thomas. Yes, the word Moko Jumbi means you are a healer, a protector, and a spirit of the ancestors when you perform as their deity on top of high hills. We are protectors and guardians of everyone, not just our own people, but for everyone else. So when we perform at ceremonies, we actually are the lookout towers to protect you from anything seen or unseen for our what we do as performance. And I've been performing since the 70s. And with the 70s, from the 70s, my first major performance was Super Bowl 13.
Nice.
We performed for the halftime show. I was about, I would have to say, between 12 to 15 years old. I was the youngest performing with great people. One of my other greatest achievements was performing with Little Big Town, hosting the CMA's 2015. You'll see me there performing with them, dancing over their heads, and then doing a 360-degree spin on one stilt straight up in the air.
We are going to totally look this up on YouTube when we get to the house. For sure.
You don't have to totally look, I can show it to you right here. I have also performed in Congress.
This is where we're staying the last couple days of our trip. It's called Villa Solaire, and it's a beautiful 3-bedroom villa overlooking the Caribbean. Villa Solaire is located right above and next to Secret Harbor Resort, so we headed there for a delicious dinner. This is what we woke up to on our first morning in the villa. There's a beautiful wind coming through, and we've got these three retired captains.
3 bulls.
It's a beautiful home. We absolutely loved this villa, which is perfect for 3 couples or a family. It has a nice sized kitchen that opens to a comfortable living and dining area with beachy decor. While all 3 bedrooms are really nice, only 2 of them overlook the sea. The backyard has a lovely covered porch with a dining table, lounge chairs, a gazebo, and a 50-foot infinity pool overlooking the Caribbean. We couldn't believe we found this villa for such a reasonable price. Of course, the fixer quickly found a project to work on, a broken ice maker, but later the owner of the villa brought some ice to us. Alex began working on a smoothie that we would later add rum to, and then she began cooking our breakfast.
Yeah, now you
Ooh, what are these?
arepas.
What a gorgeous setting for a delicious Colombian breakfast. Alex, the breakfast is amazing. Tell us a little about it.
This is a Colombian breakfast. We made arepas con queso, eggs, and actually the sauce on top is called hogao.
Ah, okay. We decided to head to a restaurant called Hooked. It was the last day of the trip. Although we'd already had breakfast, the guys couldn't resist getting some chocolate chip pancakes before we headed to a couple of shops. Okay, this is too adorable. We have someone taking a siesta here in the clothing store. Look at this, it's so cute. Our kitties are on the loose. Please be mindful that they do not follow you out. Ah, interesting. What do we think about our Red Hook adventure?
I like it.
Nice.
I like
Okay.
limes and coconuts.
Lime in the coconut.
Yep.
Lime in the coconut. Let's see what else.
Did we get lobster?
No. No lobster for us. We arrived back at the villa to view a regatta and have some snacks. This was one of our favorite afternoons of the trip, just hanging out in that gorgeous pool, reminiscing about the week and taking in the stunning view.
To the greatest friends that we never imagined we would have.
We awoke to our final morning overlooking the beautiful Caribbean Sea, and Israel once again picked us up, but this time for our ride to the airport. Thank you, Israel.
You're
for taking
welcome.
care of us.
You're welcome.
We will be following you.
See you. I'll
Okay.
follow you too.
All right, bye-bye. And before we knew it, we were speeding down the runway with water on both sides of us, heading back to San Diego. Our 11 days island hopping and on a villa were about as perfect as a vacation can get. We marvel at our wonderful friendships that had grown deeper and stronger as each day passed. What an amazing blessing that God would bring us together in our 50s and create a bond that felt like a lifetime of friendship, even though we've only known each other for 3.5 years. To us, this is life, lived at its fullest. Sharing meals, silly dancing, meaningful conversation, and adventure. Simply blessed.